Now, Storm Watch 12 weather on News Watch 12.
Well, we do have clouds in the vicinity, and if there's any fog still left over, it shouldn't last for all that much longer. But we're going to see sunshine this afternoon, so it should be pretty nice overall. The exception along the Oregon coast, we'll see showers developing this afternoon. That shower activity will eventually consolidate into a band of rain. That rain could actually be heavy at times as we go into tonight and into early on Monday morning. Now, the interesting scenario with this band of rain is where exactly it's going to set up, because it could move just a little bit farther to the east. It could move just a little bit farther to the west, but it looks like it's going to stall out. So if it does occur right over the Rogue Valley, we could be looking at some decent rainfall amounts, or we could be looking at some very light amounts as well. But in terms of Monday, we get a little bit of a break, but then by the time we get to Tuesday, we're going to start seeing the next band of rain moving from the southwest, and we should start seeing that rain by late morning into the early afternoon on Tuesday. Now, in terms of rainfall amounts for today's system, all that rain should stay just west of Grants Pass, right along the Oregon coast and the Coast Range, generally at least a ½ inch or so for the Oregon coast, and higher amounts into the Coast Range. Now, forecast highs for today, we should be into the 50s and 60s, 56 out in Lakeview, same thing in Klamath Falls. But look at that, 63 and 61 for Wairika and Montague, 58 in Medford. So we do have the high pressure that's still giving us the nice weather, but that is going to shift off towards the east, and this big area of low pressure is going to dig on way down to our southwest. Interesting scenario with this particular system is where exactly this low pressure develops and how close the storm track is to our north. So it could be a pretty interesting scenario in terms of rainfall amounts. We could be looking at still a possibility of some heavy rain being possible into Siskiyou County for parts of next week, or that entire activity may shift farther to the south. So we'll have to keep an eye, because just a little deviation from the pattern will have either a big impact on a lot of people or not much impact at all. By the time we get towards the end of the week, though, things are looking much calmer, for at least a day or two before we might see more activity. Now, in terms of precipitation forecast, this actual model shows that rain heading down to the south. That is a possibility, not a for sure thing at this time. But in terms of rainfall amounts, we're going to be looking at the rain occurring along the Oregon coast for today. That rain will spread inland by the time we get to Tuesday or Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll start seeing the chance of showers, but not as much activity if what I was mentioning before actually does occur. Now, in terms of rainfall amounts, what we'll be looking at is some pretty healthy rain amounts as we go through the next couple of days. But notice that the coast doesn't really change a whole lot in terms of rain, because that rain could very well shift to the south. But either way, we're still looking at the chance of showers for the next several days. Now, in terms of the 7-day forecast for the Oregon coast, we'll be into the 50s and 60s for the next several days. Could be fairly wet, at least through Tuesday, with showers eventually starting to decrease. For Northern California, we'll be into the 50s for the most part. Warmest day will be on Sunday. Best chance of rain will be Tuesday and into Wednesday. For the Klamath Basin, we'll be looking at temperatures into the 50s, cool overnight lows right around freezing. Best chance of seeing rain or even maybe changing over to snow would be on Tuesday, and the Tuesday night would be when we would see that possibility of seeing some snow. But right now, it's not looking like much of anything in terms of accumulation. Now, for the Cascades, we'll be looking at temperatures right around 50 degrees, give or take a little bit, for the next several days. The windiest day looks to be on Monday and Tuesday, but no real significant threat for snow, at least in terms of not being at Crater Lake. But Crater Lake could be looking at some snow as we get parts of next week. Now, in terms of the Rogue Valley, will be generally 55 to 60 degrees for the next several days. Wettest days will be Monday and Tuesday. We dry out by the end of the week.